Not even.
Welcome, Basement.
Hey,
Welcome,
Basement Dwellers!
You've got Brady here
Welcome to
today as
Basement
your
Discourse.
host. I'm the anime one. We have Jace, who's that fucking
Brady,
side.
and the
He's
other
the
guy is
gamer.
Jace,
And then
'cause he
bottom
talks about
man
games and
is, of
such.
course, our D&D dice rolling freak in a sweater.
That was
Shit.
so good.
I'm sure people have really good ideas of what's happening right now.
Yeah, I can't wait to deal with the peaking on all of our mics for that, because for some reason we were like, no, we're all going to do it at the
We
same
need to be
time, but I'm going to
louder.
be the loudest.
At least figure I'm pretty loud. I
Look,
have a really loud talking voice.
We're all just used to being
Yeah.
loud because we recently tried to roll dice in an environment not prepared for one person to be louder
That's
than the
correct.
rest.
Or 32 even.
35 in the end.
I
Yeah,
didn't
right.
roll anything, to be fair.
He rolled
Oh.
cameras.
You rolled footage.
Fuck, that actually
That was
works.
really fucking good. Yeah. That
Fuck,
worked
you should be
really well.
writing our segues.
Now for the guy that rolls cameras, it's Jace. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, so we did a live event. So we're going to have to change some episode orders up to try and get this one closer to that. But we had our first, we're YouTubers and we're doing a thing in real life, even though we do shit over Zoom like fucking weirdos. It was cool. So Justin went to enormous effort. So I actually want to give him the chance to sort of talk through it because he has
I don't.
earned
Fuck
that
that guy.
right.
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, you're too tired? That's fair.
I am actually exhausted. But yeah, it was a mammoth effort. I'm not gonna lie. It took a lot more than I thought it would to organize something of this like size. So we reached out to Jacob from Eden Brewery, and he was all for opening up his doors for a D&D session. We sort of nailed out a date, and that was pretty much it for a while. And I kind of took it easy to start with, and I shouldn't have. I really should have got in there really quick and just started writing hard.
You're being a little harsh on
So,
yourself. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
we
I could have
talked
done some
about the
stuff.
outline for a while. Like we said,
Yeah.
we wanted a fantasy of Eden to be
Yep.
sort of the core
Yeah, so
construct.
we had
It's
to
not like you did
incorporate
nothing.
The brewery, and we had to incorporate also the fact that it was one day before Halloween, so incorporate Halloween sort of an aspect into it as well. Incorporate the fact that we were definitely going for a maximum of 32 players, so that means that we're basically 6 tables. So what are they going to do? How's it all going to come together? And I really wanted them to not just be alone on their tables doing an adventure. So I wanted it all to come together in some sort of a big epic. So it definitely morphed into what it became over like the course of about a month, but then the whole idea came together within the last 2 days, I reckon. So
Oh, for sure.
Except the
Do
idea
you remember
of
my?
writing in Brady's item.
yeah.
Yeah, that was an
Forgot that one.
experience. I
Yeah.
also we weren't positive I'd be DMing until the last like
No, yeah. So a lot
5
was left in
days,
the
maybe. Like
yeah,
it was...
a lot was left in the air. We had some fantastic DMs though that came to the table.
Oh my god!
So huge shout out to these guys if they're watching this episode. We had Nicholas, he was running the mines. We had James running the woods. We had Lawrence, who was running the Temple of Gourmain. We had Brady, of course, running something that you might have seen in our Dungeons and Discourse episodes when you watch them, not if. And we had, who was left? Tom with the Kill Mill and myself with the Swamps. So 6 totally different settings, a whole lot of work setting it all up.
Oh man, some of those DMs were like literally covered in sweat. Like they came up to me afterwards and they were like, "Oh geez, I don't know how much effort they put in, but I've never sweat talking."
They went insane.
I gotta say, so my experience with DMs is basically obviously what I've seen from other crews and that, but then also dealing with yourself, Brady, you, Justin, and then Zach as well. And seeing how all these different DMs operate was fantastic. People like Nick were super enthusiastic and expressive. Tom was super descriptive in how all the actions played out and stuff like that. It was so damn cool to see. It was really, really
James
awesome.
was I think he's our man for those sort of events because he was so speedy and like well prepared. So like when
Yeah,
it came
and
to
he was
like
able to
combat
adapt
stuff,
too. Like,
yeah,
he
when
was
it
like,
came to
"Oh, the guys
combat
didn't get
stuff,
hit, so this happened. I made this happen."
he
Like,
was
he could
telling
adapt.
players like, "You're next. Prepare your move. You're
Yep.
next. Oh, that person doesn't know what they're doing.
He
You're
also
gonna
had,
help
I
them."
think, the biggest
Like,
table. He had a table of what,
yeah,
7?
he did. He
So,
had a pretty
yeah, he
sizable
did.
table.
And,
Yeah.
He
and
also
to
showed
make
me
it
the
worse,
notes.
it was a table with
Yeah,
Zach
Yeah,
yeah,
and,
fucking
Zach
Ethan.
and Brent.
and
And
Ethan and
Ethan.
Brant. Yeah,
Oh,
they're
that's
the
a
worst.
rough desk, bro.
And then we
Mhm.
had Lawrence over there, and I think I think I heard the most cheers come from his table. So,
Oh my god, yes,
What a
Lawrence's
triumph.
table was so good.
because I mean that one specifically was a bit of a crack up. So we used the Banthony Gourmet Temple as the setting, which was awesome because it's also a tie into our Dungeons and Discourse stuff. If you haven't seen it, then you should have already.
Of course I
And then
have.
this fight against this cult of Crack Donalds, like,
Dude, that sounds so fucking funny though. I kind of want to do like a side story one shot where we all go do something similar.
try to throw down against the actual cult. Like, the
Yeah.
cult came to Gourmet, and now we're taking the fight from Gourmet to the cult. Like,
Yeah, I think it could be a thing. But no,
It could be
it was
awesome.
wild, dude.
Yeah.
I'll put a shot up here, but we had a pretty sizable venue, pretty much packed out.
Yep.
And we had a DM on multiple tables, all
We
tying
had
into a
people
story.
who didn't show, but then we had even more people just show up.
We had a few just show up.
They actually filled the gaps, and
just
more
like,
so.
we'll take the opportunity to be like the weirdly humble people, or at least I will. Jace will probably tell you get fucked. Which
Yeah, get
hilariously,
fucked.
by the way, I have some feedback for you. But like heaps of people just thank you guys for coming. And
Yeah.
thank you to everyone who came
Almost
up to us.
everyone
and was
came
talking
up to us and shook our
telling
hands
us-
and stuff, and they thanked
yeah.
us for their time. And
It
it's
was
like,
so cool.
damn, that's like,
I
you
would
know?
also like to point out something that I've inadvertently got prepared here. But one of our friends / fans that attended the event actually gave me some fantastic art prints.
oh, hell yeah.
Oh, holy shit.
How do cameras work?
Yeah, it's hard because it's like right in front of my mic. But
Yeah, speaking of, can you move your mic back like a half a foot or something? That's way better. Can you talk now?
yeah, get fucked, cockhead.
That's actually
It's
way
actually
better.
not that bad. it's for like zooming in on your it's like
yeah.
It's
focused on the mic.
The auto focuses on the mic. This is better.
Fantastic. This
You
works.
don't sound
This is great.
because your sound sounded like you were just consistently
Yelling.
speaking. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because I had the audio up from the Elden Ring video, which everyone should have already seen.
I've
Mhm.
seen it. That
We
was
definitely
crazy
have.
shit.
Other things to note aside from thanking people, Jace, hilariously, I had more than a couple of people come up and they're like, "Hey, you'll give each other shit, but you're all really nice in person." I was like, "No, we're not. Fuck off." But like, like you guys are really nice, and they were like, "That Jace, he's really nice." I was like, "Oh no." I was like, "No, no, no,
This is some
no, no,
bullshit.
no. It's just that you're drinking and he's not. You think he's just kind of like, he's more like condescending. He's like, yes, yes. That's nice. Go back to your table." Like, it was really cool. Everyone was so nice to us. Everyone had such a fucking good time. We had people who never would have thought D&D would be in their world.
Yeah,
and
it was
played.
almost a 50-50 split for people who'd never played D&D and people who had. So
Yeah.
which
Well,
was
my
way more than
table
I
was-
thought it would be.
Actually, this is a great time for our editor to cut to a shot that shows people putting their hands up. Who
Nice.
was
Yeah.
new and who wasn't.
I'll
Yeah.
need
That
that
was
from the
pretty
guy
interesting.
who shot video on the night, but I'll put it in.
And who's a noob who has never played D&D before at all? Welcome! How great is that? So,
I probably have that clip somewhere.
Yeah. No, but I mean, my table was 75% noobs.
Yeah, right. I think
People who'd never
mine was a
played.
50-50 split. So, that
Yep.
that in itself that's pretty cool. But every single one of these guys said that they'd come back and do it again.
Yeah. No,
know,
I had heaps of
so,
people say they would
like,
come
it's
back,
amazing.
and I think it was just it was a cool play in the end to do it in a venue like that. And I know, like Jace, like you don't drink and all that
Yeah,
sort of
it
stuff.
doesn't matter though. It's just a
No, it
cool
doesn't.
look,
It's not
you know
a
what I mean?
venue
Like,
that's really about getting drunk either. Like,
Yeah.
they really
Well-
are like a drink for fun sort of situation.
which is
and-
hilarious because the way we started the whole thing out was a drinking game
Drinking
inside of the D&D world, which was great.
Yeah, no, that
Um,
was pretty good.
And the fact that Boozy Burgers is right there as well, like you can get yourself
Yeah.
a burger, you can get yourself some fries, you know, they even have vegan options, which was cool. And that
The
friggin'
fucking vegan hookup,
oh,
yo.
dude, that peri peri
Yeah.
sauce was sick. That was so
Dude, that
good.
shit slaps.
Yeah, that was some shit. So
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
that's the locals. Yeah, no, that's
that was awesome.
I've been eating that for like a month.
Good
that sauce
good
is
man.
So I
That
think we
sauce is
found
great.
something that I think we could probably say that we're definitely going to try and do again for sure.
Yeah,
Like,
so we have ideas. We're thinking workshops will be the next thing we do.
maybe.
But
yeah, we'll
if
see.
you guys have suggestions for us, please like comment that. Like we will read it and we will take it on board because that's
Well,
we
Justin won't
enjoyed.
read it, but we'll
No.
pass that on.
Yeah,
They can pass it on to me,
we'll
you
pass
know.
it on to him. But
I don't read
it's-
shit.
yeah, we will definitely check it out. We have ideas for what we want to do, and we have multiple versions of what that looks like. But let us know what you guys would like to see, because yeah, we had such a good time doing it. We're definitely gonna do it again. Like,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
it's not really a if as much as a when.
When? Yeah, more
Dude,
a when.
Even just shooting it was so much fun just because, like, yeah, I might not have been playing, but I got to like dabble in everyone's experience as I'm going
Yeah.
around filming and all that sort of stuff. So that was, yeah, really cool in and of itself.
You got some really cool shots from the top as well. Like that was awesome. So
Yeah, I was really glad that was
was
part
sick.
of why I wanted you there early, was just run you up and be like, you
Oh,
need
that did not
this.
stop me from nearly tripping over a box and falling.
Oh
straight
yeah,
off.
you nearly died. I saw that.
Did
I
you?
swear I saw that. That would have
I'm
been
the
too
guy
good.
that broke his ankle walking to Koreatown, like just on straight pavement. So like, I was bound to die sometime.
No, that's cool. Justin, since we're in the episode, for anyone who missed out, can you give us a really quick brief outline of the basic story, how we played it out, and then show us your big bad mini? Because I think
Yeah.
that's worth doing for anyone who didn't get to come. We had a few people, I've heard from a few people who even bought tickets who were sick and couldn't make it. So run us
Yeah.
through what went down.
All right. So each table ran their own encounter to start with. So basically, I introduced myself. I introduced everything. The story being that they're going to start in a tavern that runs out of beer. They head to Eden Brewery through a portal, and from there, they each are given a fetch quest from Jacob of Eden Brewery. And that was probably the first part that we got a good round of laughs at, was when I tried to do Jacob's
Oh,
voice.
yeah. Yeah,
I could not look at
Dude.
him. Like I was like, I'm not looking at him while I'm trying to
So
do his
good
voice.
though, and
man.
he loved it. He thought it was freaking hilarious. Because you got to understand, poor Jacob gets mistaken consistently for Canadian,
Yeah. Yep.
and he's
I don't know
didn't
why.
even notice
I
his
don't
accent,
understand
to be
that.
quite honest.
Really?
Yeah, he's
Wow.
got an Australian wife, but like he's Texan. He's definitely not Canadian, and he
No.
will not be impressed if you assume otherwise. But I realize why it is people do that.
Because other
It's 'cause-
Canadians work there.
No, because he says a lot.
Oh yeah,
Fucking hell.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, he
Might be the
does.
Australian coming out of
And
him.
I think it's the Australian in like being around Australians all the time that he says
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But when you hear that with an American accent, you're like,
Canadian.
Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
for
see,
sure.
does he say a boot? Because
not even slightly.
Nah, not even
And
close.
he is definitely more acclimatized to warm weather than cold.
Yeah. So after that, we hand off to each of the tables. Every table had a different encounter and a different setting entirely. So it's a pretty diverse area around Eden Brewery within walking distance, because we had swamplands, we had the woods, we had a mine shaft, we had a mill out inside of a like a battleground. We had Banthony Gourmet's freaking temple, and we had a port nearby as well. So all of that was within walking distance, and it didn't really matter. They basically got there immediately.
Man, I blitzed through how they got there. I
blitzed through it too. There was no point.
Yeah. You were like, so everyone go off, and I was like, all right, so you're walking down a hill.
Yeah, and you
There's
see
a
the port. Yeah, that's it.
And that
was pretty much how I was. I was like, you follow the path, and here's the swamplands, pretty much, because it was like, we don't have enough time to fuck around. Just by the time we actually got started, it was about 45 minutes in before we even began. So,
well, if you left any of that sort of shit up to Brady, he'd be talking about how fast he walks, and then he'd be doing laps around people.
And raising my sword, talking about Attack on Titan, blah, 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 blah.
It's hilarious how many people brought up raising their sword. They're like, I'm not drinking tonight because I don't want to raise my sword. It was at least 3 people told me that.
Yeah, it was genuinely,
So good.
like, I was
it's
like,
becoming a thing.
The amount of stuff I heard about our show, I was like, oh, okay. So more of you need to subscribe.
Yeah, clearly.
Because you're clearly watching. God damn it.
Googling it every time. Like, why are you searching for us? You know it's easier than searching for us.
They go to Ask Jeeves.
The Alta Vista.
Yes. Oh, man.
They go on their MySpace, then they look us up through MySpace, go to our MySpace page, find the link to our newest video, and then go from there to the YouTubes.
That's the efficient way.
That is the most efficient way of doing it. Or contact us through LinkedIn, and then I'll send you an email with a YouTube link in an email from my LinkedIn.
All right, so before we continue with the story, did you all get a shocking amount of ads on your private stuff after doing that event?
I get like 25 to 30 friend requests a day anyway. So
I got no ads, so I mustn't have been popular enough.
Oh
no.
I don't think any like people in Australia added me, so no.
I got about 10 the day after, and then 5 the day after that.
What the shit?
So clearly, they couldn't have thought that I was that nice. Like,
I don't know why, because my shit's set to private. So I would think
my shit's wide open, and now, no love.
Wow. I'm sort of halfway. I'm only spreading the cheeks a little bit on my account.
Yeah, but you're spreading your cheeks internationally, though.
Mate, I'm open to overseas visitors. Just saying.
So you're not the Australian borders.
So our players entered their unique scenes.
Yeah, they entered their unique environments. Most of the terrain is around my head now. There's the house and there's the mill there and there's some trees up there and whatnot. So I basically almost emptied most of the nerd shack.
That was so bad.
It was like you holding up the pictures. It's kind of hard to work it out, right?
Yeah, I know, right? I'm fucking stupid.
Fucking cameras,
You out.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, and then they dived into their Halloween-esque sort of an encounter. I won't jump into each of them because as a DM, I'll probably reuse them in the future. So, won't do that. But at the end of that, they have an item that they leave it with. They leave
Brady.
with an item.
If they're written into the notes.
About that. They head back to Eden Brewery via portal. Most of them were given a bit of a heads up on...
Sorry. So most people went back to Eden Brewery via portal?
Most people, yes. -1. Who decided that she was going to be the queen of Whisperwind Port and stayed behind. And it kind of was just so
clear that the port, like the ship, the port is dead bodies... Skeletons.
The ship explodes. I'm explaining to her
a flaming ship,
it's
and
done.
she's like, "Yep, this is what I want to own."
Yep. So we just left her there.
Maybe she later on meets Clive and Yar.
Oh,
Yellowbeard? No, Yellowbeard died.
Yellow
hair.
Which is Clive or Molotov Murphy.
Yes,
right.
Such a better name. Such a good name. If you guys watched our shit, then you would know what we're all talking about. This is an inside joke, but it's not an inside joke. If you watch Dungeons and Discourse, get on it. And then so everyone teleport. I know, right? Plug for our own shit. We teleport back to Eden Brewery with the item. We hand them all back to Jacob, who throws them into a big vat, stirs it up. At which point I made a joke about not knowing anything about making beer, aside from the fact that there's probably barley and hops in it. So I was like, barley hops and magic items. Like, and that's all I know about beers.
Okay,
So that's
I
why
just
I
want
wrote
to
it.
point out, and I'm going to insert a clip
Because
at
hops
this
is not an
point.
ingredient, it's a thing. I have no idea.
Not even that. When you walk into Eden, you might have
Yeah.
noticed this, Jace, because you're a bit more
Yeah,
observant than Justin.
There's things
That's
on the
when you walk
walls.
in from the front.
Yeah.
Like a true man, I took the back door.
There's an entire wall that shows the process of making beer with just awesome artwork going
It
right to
is
the end.
really
Quite-
cool.
To be quite frank, I did notice it, but I also didn't care. So I didn't look
No,
at
I don't
it.
expect you to care. I just find it hilarious that he's like, I don't know the process, I don't know the ingredients, and he had to walk past them like 3 or 4 times because the man, like a typical geek, showed up.
Oh,
3
yeah, I was
hours
there
early?
3 hours early. But that said, we didn't set up anywhere near early enough. We should have set up earlier because that was a struggle.
No.
It was a hot afternoon, all right?
What are you
Hot.
talking about? I was ready 2 seconds. Fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
yeah, you
good.
pulled a camera out. That was it. I had to
Yeah,
set
I
up
sat
6
down.
fucking tables plus the players table for the pickup. So yeah, so okay, they get back, they throw all the ingredients in the vat, and finally an explosion and all the rest of it, and the big bad comes out. And at this point, this is where we do something totally weird. We got all 6 tables to do a skill challenge each with their DMs, which most people don't generally do in 5th edition, so they don't really know what the hell they're doing. They fumble through that, and in after that, they sort of work out whether or not they survived it. Some actually died at the end of those, I believe. I think we had at
All
Your crew
least,
died?
All of them.
yeah. Brady lost everyone.
Yeah.
one
You
to
lost 2,
murder.
didn't you?
I think I lost 2. Yeah, I lost 2, and a few other tables lost a couple each. So yeah, it was quite a lot of death.
I
But
love
for
that
one shot, it
because
was good.
Justin's like, wait, you guys died in skill challenges? And it's every table had people die.
I kind of wrote it in there though, so whatever. And then so the next phase of the big bad was for them all just to pile on basically and just have a go, and that was a lot of fun to see everyone placing their.
That's what I was going to say. I actually thought
on-
that was such a cool highlight, watching people place their mini wherever the
Oh, it
hell
was
they
so
want. And they
good.
all decided, like idiots, to stack them on it.
on it. They're all like, "Yep, let's climb aboard." So yeah, I'll show you guys the mini now. Well, mini. I think I'm gonna have to move
Moderate.
back. So
Moderate.
this is the keg monster. Someone actually called it online. They called it Balgrog.
Oh
Thought
my
that was
God.
that was a fucking cool name, right?
Oh,
That
'Cause
is
I
the
saw it
best.
afterwards. I was like,
A
"Damn it, that
barrel
is so
grog.
cool!"
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll put a little bit of a video up later about how this thing was made, but it's basically just foam and wood and a few pieces of like broken jewelry and stuff that I managed to get palmed off with. So yeah, even the Eden style logo on there was coincidentally I already had it. So the total cost of this mini was about $2, I believe, maybe $3. Yeah.
Making that hard YouTube cash.
Yeah.
Plus about 20 hours of time. So
Yeah, I was going to say, plus how much of your hard labor.
yeah, it was quite difficult to make. I've never made something of that scale before, or in such a dynamic pose. So it really fucked with me for a while. I think I could do it again a lot quicker, but yeah, that was a lot of effort. But paid
That's
off.
cool, man.
Everyone, when we pulled that out, everyone was just like,
Oh.
"What the fuck?" Like
Yeah.
that was a cool moment. So
Yeah,
that was
especially
worth it
when
in
You
itself.
told me to pull it out by just
Just go get the thing over
underneath the
over
thing.
that way, the thing and stuff. Like,
The
wow,
thing
I'm a
under the
DM and I
stuff,
can't
I think,
describe
was the
where
line.
something is.
I'll try and find the line to insert here, but I'm pretty sure it was the thing under the stuff.
Yeah, I believe that was probably about it. So yeah, the reveal of that big bad was really cool. I don't know if we captured it exactly, but it was really...
I'm still going through all the footage, so
Yeah.
we'll see. If it's in there, then it will be in the trailer video that Brady will either put a link or something with this video.
End video. end card at the end of this.
Because that's the easiest way to actually get another video in there.
Yeah.
Like end card.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah. What
Hey,
is that
Jace.
noise?
Yeah. So we everyone goes back. They throw down against the big bad. You allowed them to place their mini around it wherever they want for battle stance.
I had a rough number in my head. I wasn't 100% sure where that number would land, but I figured they were
You
probably
knew
going to be
they were
under
going to
it.
kill it. Like that was
I knew
kind
they
of
were
the deal.
going to kill it. That was the whole point, but probably not in the first round because I wanted to kill some more of them. So
Yeah.
that was the whole point.
Can we all give a huge shout out to Brant's death?
Yes, It was definitely the most memorable death of the entire night.
It was the only time I saw. So Jacob did. Jacob rode a centaur into battle and a whole bunch of other stuff. The only time I saw the man being like, "Oof, should I have hosted this in my venue?" When I look over and Justin's announcing from the front, and we're no shy, to swearing or grotesque things on this show. But Justin's like, yeah, so you're in his asshole. And I look over and Jacob's like,
well, to be fair, this was a game of chance.
Look, let's give him some context, okay? So the table that Brant was on, which is the player that we are talking about that climbed inside of the Keg Golem's asshole.
Also the artist that has done some work for us.
Yes.
And he was previously as an episode. I'll put a thing somewhere
He was,
here.
yep. So Brant and that whole table with James in the woods decided that instead of doing what they were meant to do for the skill challenge, they were just going to go and try and smash it instead. So they tried to I think they managed to trip it over and knock it on its head and all sorts of stuff. But then somehow or another, Brant decided that he needed to climb inside of its ass. So I think he was going to get sat on, and I think the only way was to go in.
I think his plan was to cut in from the back and drink his way out or something. But basically, he ended up in fluids.
Its ass. The hard thing I had my table suggested not the ass thing. They suggested wrapping up its feet with their rope because all of them had rope, and I said, "Oh no." based on the fact that I was trying to guide them towards what they were supposed to do for the skill challenge, I was like,
skill challenges are hard. Unless they know.
I pulled it off nicer than no. I said, this thing, just so you understand the scale of it, is this big. You would need a really big strength set. Unfortunately, at a small table, there's no way that the three of them could have pulled it over.
That's fair. Yeah.
So they all accepted that and moved on. But then we get to that thing where everyone's describing what people did, and they're like, we wrapped a rope around it and tripped it over, and my table all stared at me with anger. And I was like,
good on them.
You're just like, well, there were 7 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
So he crawled up inside of its butt.
Sorry, I followed the rules.
And then so all the players that are on this thing now, I let them all do 1 round of combat. So every single one of them, I'm like, just go hard, don't hold back, just roll your best rolls. Use your sorcery points, use your spells, use your key, use your strength, use your barbarian rage, whatever you need to use it now. This is all or nothing. I'm like, because if you don't kill it in 1 round, it's going to hit back, and it will kill in this next round. So they all do their thing. I think they did about 260-ish damage total, which was huge across, what was it, 6 tables or 5 tables at this point? 5 tables at this point because one had been wiped out, and which was massive, and it didn't die, and then it got to attack back. So I just told them, I'm going to roll a d4, whichever direction it is dependent on the number. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Everything in that direction,
north, south, east, and west. Everything in that direction is pretty well gone. And anything on it is going to fall off too. So just so you know, everyone's like, "Oh shit!" It's like 15 minis that are all rolling dex saves at that point. But it ended up being its ass that it pointed the dice towards. So anything behind it, and the only thing behind it was Brant hanging out of its asshole at that point. So we made it clench butt cheeks, and I think I hope I made the noise on the mic that I was trying to. Did I?
I love it. It was it wasn't quite as bad as the Star Wars special ending, and if you haven't seen it, you should definitely go check that out. But it was
It was up there.
It was up there. Some things
For a
happened.
crowd of 40 people in front of the person who owns the
It
place
very
as
suddenly
well.
became a boys' locker room when it wasn't previously.
To be fair, many of the women that were in attendance were just as bad as any of the blokes.
Yeah, dude, there was some
Oh, no.
tentacles in mine. Like there was definitely some
There was a
squiddy
lot
action.
of hentai
I love
talk
that I
from the
heard that
attendance.
that
I know,
stuff
right?
happened on your table.
Yeah, I told him to shut up because you're sitting next to us. I'm like, he's gonna get a boner.
No, see, it's the weeb energy that's like rushing from
Ah,
his
it's-
table.
Yeah, that's right. It's gushing.
Gushing.
Never say gushing again, please.
So if I can, and I may cut this bit if I can't, I'm going to try and insert a little piece from each DM talking about their experience really quick.
You know, honestly, the more tired you are, the more you realize how big of an event it was and
Yeah.
how much it just absolutely blew up. And it was fantastic to see. Like, I'm still feel that tiredness from Sunday. So.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it's kind of just rolled on. Hey, I was like,
It rolled
every now and then
on.
I just sit down. I'm like, fuck, that was big. Like, that
And
was
it
huge.
sounds like a bad thing, but it's actually one of the best things because there was 32 people there. Everyone had an absolute blast. It was loud. People were cheering each other on. It was like a football match just sitting at a table.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Hey,
It was
I have a
absolutely
feeling though that
ridiculous.
either your table or maybe James's, but I have a feeling your table had the most outbursts of just like sheer, just like laughter or cheering as they like
Oh, yeah.
smashed some cultists.
They had an absolute blast, and it was good to see how creative they were in describing how they're killing these cultists.
Nice.
Like I had one use a rapier like a shish kebab. Just getting a little bit of onion on
Jeez.
the end of it as like the hearts in the middle.
Wow. Oh, I love it. I love how creative
I've
they
had
can
one
get.
describe that that moment where they're like confused after just being hit in the eye with an arrow before they like slump over. They got creative. They got brutal. I
Nice.
mean, even my descriptions just then probably marched this up to an MA 15 plus rating.
No, that's awesome. That's so good.
But
So how many
yeah,
players on your table were complete noobs?
A lot of them actually. So
Yeah.
we had one that was a complete noob. We had one that was coming back from only playing second edition when they were a teenager, and they
Wow.
were I don't know, they were considerably older than a
Yeah, so
teenager.
that must have been about
That
mid
was in their
80s.
age, but
I would say maybe.
yeah,
Like,
that was a
wow.
long time ago. So
Not calling you old, player. Not calling you old. Just saying.
wise.
Why? Yeah. Yeah. Skilled.
Wise.
Skilled.
Skilled, experienced.
Yes,
That's
that's
it.
the one. That's the one. Experience. Yeah.
But he hadn't played D&D for such a long time, and
Yeah.
he's actually got back into it, and he's had an absolute blast. And they're pretty much begging me, pulling at my collar, trying to get me to give them more games, or at least help
I have
them
a
find
feeling this is
access to more
literally
games.
everyone that was playing at all the tables are now like, I want my fix. Like, I need more D&D.
Yeah,
like-
absolutely.
I've heard it from just about everyone now. I feel like I haven't missed anyone. I think I ran into most people on the night, and those that I didn't, I've heard from secondhand that like they've mentioned it to a DM. They're like, "Hey, like when are you doing the next game?" Like, so I think we won everyone over. I think everyone there now wants to play more D&Ds. That's for sure. So my question would be, is it something you would want to do again? Like, do you think you would want to participate as a DM or as a player again on like that sort of a setting?
Absolutely. I'm quite fortunate to have plenty of opportunities to play as a player. So I'd definitely go as a DM and host those opportunities, or at least host a table for
Yeah.
those people as well. I think it was absolutely fantastic. And I love the fact that these people have now got an access for it in the community, which they didn't have before.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like we've
And there's
opened up a
obviously
door.
cry out.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's it. Well, we
Um,
sold like more than half of the tickets were sold before I think Eden actually even posted something on their Facebook about it. So like, just word of mouth alone seemed to really sort of creep out into the area, and like the community just sort of came in, and it was really cool to see so many people that had never played before just sort of jumping into it and just jumping in the deep end and giving it a crack. Like, it was just really cool. The whole vibe on the
Yeah,
night was
exactly.
awesome, Like
Everyone
I
was
don't know.
happy. There was laughter at every
Yeah,
table. Like,
exactly.
it was
There wasn't one person, even if they were a bit lost, there wasn't one person that wasn't like at the end of it, like, yeah, I really enjoyed that. So, yeah.
fantastic. And it's just the moments you have with the people at your table as well. Like one of the players is quite new to it. Her partner is not new to it. He's played. He actually plays in one of my private games, but his wife joined in for this event, and she was knocked down to 0, got back up again, continued on, knocked back down to 0, and then rolled a nat 20. It was just this cheer is like,
She rises
you know,
back with 1
she
HP.
rises back with 1 HP, and everyone's happy. You know, she's our sole survivor at the table, and for some reason, no one can keep Daryl down. That was the name of a character, by the way. That definitely
Daryl.
needed more context than just Daryl.
That's fantastic.
So
yeah. I don't know. I don't know
moments.
who ended on the highest note, whether or not the players left on the highest note, or like the DMs came out like on top. Because I feel like we all just left buzzed. We're just like, holy shit, what have we been a part of tonight? Like, you know.
Yeah. I genuinely think it was a combination of both. I think the players left ecstatic. They've had nothing but compliments from players at the end of the night and how great everyone did, how great the whole event was. DMs too were just talking about everyone at their table and what it was. And I had this interesting conversation with people outside. And we're talking about what makes a good DM. And I think everyone there that night DMing made a good DM.
For sure.
Because
in
everyone
totally
at their
different
table
ways
was
too.
happy and engaged. And in different ways, every DM
Yeah.
brings something different to the table and have different perspectives, different mannerisms, different ways they perceive how the game is run.
Yeah.
And they all had their players absolute buzzing, and everyone at the table was happy, engaged. And that is something I think that makes every one of us a good DM, and also because we're offering the players that experience, which bolsters their enjoyment of it and keenness for creativity and wanting to do more.
I think we had this nervous energy about us as well, and that kind of like, you know, like boosted us up to another level, and then that just sort of pushed onto the players as well as they were playing. So like everyone was just kind of like, holy shit. Like, you know, when I described, like, I'm like, not even the DMs have done this before. Like, this is totally new for us. This many people in one spot. It's just not a normal thing for any of us. None of us have seen this. Like, none of us have played in leagues and things like that before. But even as a league goes, that's way different to what we're doing tonight. So, you know, I think it went off with barely a hitch. And I think I would be really excited about what we can do in the future. So I just wanted to say thank you for coming along for it and for DMing a table. Like, that was awesome. So
it's an absolute pleasure. I'll 100% do it again.
Sick.
So
watch this post.
Watch this and thanks again for hosting it as well. Like, it was the we talk about what the DMs did on the night, and it is a big thing every one of those DMs did, but at the same time, you have been building all these models for it. You've been making sure they get there on time. You've been making sure that tickets get out. You've been making sure that DMs have everything they need to run the games. So don't undervalue what you've done, because what you've done is actually open the D&D world up back to the community again. People are now wanting games more than ever. Like, it's absolutely fantastic. So
do it for the love of it, all right? We do it for the love of it. So,
we absolutely do.
Yeah, it's great. It's daunting running the old famous kill mill. I did have one player on my table who watches the channel. So she knew what was coming, but also luckily it was actually her first time playing. So she was super excited. And it went well. Everyone had fun. Everyone was on the edge of their seat. And when I stuck those blades to the windmill, there was a few eyes that kind of opened wide. So I think it got the effect we wanted.
Awesome. We had nothing but like good feedback from pretty much every single person that participated, including the guys on your table, but also including the DMs. So I just wanted to hear like what your thoughts on the whole experience was as a whole. Would you do it again? Is it something that you think like could be a thing that we could do in the future, or you think one was enough? And
no, in a heartbeat, I would, easy do it again. And I think all the players at my table would as well. I had 3 newbies out of 5, and they loved it. And then they were asking, oh, where can we play more? Where can we get involved? So I think definitely another one, or like a recurring thing. Yeah, it just one, it was good because it gets a lot of people involved that maybe watch the channel or they read about D&D at home and they're like, oh, I really want to try it, but I don't know. So it's just a nice casual setting. And yeah, I think it just got a lot of eyes on the product. So yeah, easy. There's a place for it as a regular thing.
Yeah, for sure. That was my thought too. And like the fact that we had probably over 50% of people that were there had never even played D&D before. Like that was awesome to see so many people just like by the end of it, just applauding all your DMs and like just really enjoying the whole experience. Like that was like what it's all about. Like, a whole room full of people basically leaving there going, man, D&D is not what I expected it to be,
Yeah, 100%. It was just as rewarding for the DMs, if not more probably than like the players.
Yeah, I really feel like we left on a high. Like we went outside and we were just like, holy shit.
Yeah, I had to debrief and I was chatting with Lawrence, who ran the table next to me, and his players were loud, man. They were getting like involved. And I was like, my players weren't quite so loud, but they were still so engaged. And to have them actually, interact with what you're running, it was really probably one of my best DMing experiences.
That's really cool. And the fact that you kind of didn't really 100% know what you were doing until the day when I'm like, here's your script, guy. Have fun.
The key is just they don't know what you're reading, only you know what you're reading. So
yeah. And even then you're just like, I've lost my place. I'm going to make this up now.
yeah, I did. Made up a lot, but, they couldn't tell. And, it will fit in well with what you'd planned. And, I think everyone was in the same boat, to be honest.
Yeah. I think it really worked well. Like, for the sheer size of the event, for the big boss at the end, like, I think it was just a lot of fun. So...
yeah, the reaction of the room when the keg monster finally got revealed and kind of slapped down on the table was great. There was a few like ooh, and then there was a few people just straight away started clapping.
Yeah, that was cool, man. That was cool because that did take that's not an easy thing to put together.
Justin did 30 hours prep for it, and that was 20 of them.
Yeah. Pretty much, to be honest. Like, I really shot myself in the foot with that one. I should have 3D printed something, but instead went for the make. Like an idiot. Yeah, I think it's something we'll definitely look at doing again for sure. Like, so everyone out there listening right now, stay tuned. I think we'll definitely try something again. So yeah, it was fun.
I loved it. Yeah. As I said, I'd do it again in a heartbeat, and the players would be back again in a heartbeat,
Yeah, more so even. I think we'd end up just selling out like, twice fold if they could try.
Jacob needs more tables.
Yeah, more tables, more space.
Or we just do it earlier in the day and do it outside. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be wild, actually.
Definitely, cool. I think a lot of people went home and spoke to their friends about it. And so that's probably the next time, if it does pop up again, I feel like there's going to be a lot of engagement.
Yeah. Awesome.
But we're all done for this week, guys.
Yep, it was fun. And so was the weekend, but I am tired and going to bed.
I am also tired.
Absolutely. We're all done. Thank everyone who came in attendance. We had an absolute ball with all of you. And please do come up to us and have a chat to us, except for Jace if he's holding a camera, because he might lose his shit.
Just don't talk to me.
Yeah. But no, we had the best time. We would love comments, feedback, anything you guys say, what you would like us to do in future, whether it's with the YouTube channel or in these sort of IRL events. We want to hear about it, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, big thanks. Much
it
love.
was well worth all of those countless hours of no sleep and hard work.
Yeah,
definitely.
It was worth all those hour to drive there.